Guys, welcome to the first episode of Divine Potential. I'm your host, Daniel Kelly. Today, I have the honor of sitting down with Kenny Anunike. Welcome to the show, brother.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Guys, Kenny is a Columbus, Ohio native, Duke Blue Devil, former Super Bowl champion, and is now the CEO of a company called Skeleware, as well as a real estate investor and developer. At Duke University, Kenny was a two-time All-ACC honoree and was awarded the Francis Cutcliffe Spirit of Perseverance Award. Basically, that just means he's a savage. But despite numerous injuries and surgeries, he amassed over 148 tackles and 15 sacks, leading the Blue Devils in program history. Kenny's NFL journey began for the Denver Broncos in 2014, culminating in a Super Bowl 50 victory. He played for the New York Jets before transitioning to coaching. And in 2017, he joined the Ohio State University's staff under Larry Johnson, coaching future stars like Nick Bosa and Chase Young. Today, Kenny is the founder and CEO of Skillaware, as well as a real estate investor and developer, like I said. Skillaware produces protective equipment and enhances player safety and skill development. But most importantly, Kenny is a father, son, and husband. Welcome to the show, Kenny.
Appreciate it,
have
brother.
you here, man.
Absolutely.
Man, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, man. When you gave me the call, said you wanted me to be on the podcast and be your inaugural, first member, I was honored, man, for real. So
I appreciate you for jumping on here. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's going to be a lot of learning,
No doubt.
as we go. But you were just in Denver, and how'd that go? What were you doing out there?
It was fantastic, man. So got to go back out to Denver, Colorado, which is like a second home, man. I had a blast out there, and really that city, it changed my life, being out there in Denver. But this was for the Broncos Celebrity Golf tournament. It was for charity.
Okay.
So they had a bunch of former, there was Ring of Famers there, Super Bowl champions there, and just former Broncos just coming by to tee it up, shotgun start.
You pretty nice at golf?
Yeah, I'm pretty good, man. I'll say I'm better at a drive, man. I can get us down the fairway,
That's what I'm talking about.
That's
baby.
it,
That's what it's all about.
but that's why we work as a team. I'll leave the short game, to you guys now.
Yeah. I feel that. Well, hey, I just want to first off, jump in. Clearly you've had an incredible football career, and now you're an entrepreneur. How would you compare the journey between the two? What's that looked like, man? I'm sure there's, similar. I feel like when you're pursuing greatness, it looks very similar to that. But just comparing it to the pursuit of the NFL versus now entrepreneurship, tell me about that. What's that look like?
Absolutely. So I would say the journey is, they seem very different, but they're one and the same. Mm-hmm. What it takes to be a Super Bowl champion or to become someone that reaches the pinnacle of their career, it takes an ultimate drive. It takes consistency, discipline, and just dedication, to being the top, to being the best. So being able to utilize all of that and use all the things that I learned and all of the skills that I had to hone to become that person to win a Super Bowl, that translates into business so perfectly.
Where'd that start at? Because you're talking about discipline, consistency, all these things that I feel like people today in society, they're missing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So when you were younger, how were you working on that? What'd that look like for our viewers?
Absolutely. So I say that all stemmed from my parents, man. My parents are literally the American dream. And when I say that, I truly mean that.
Yeah.
My parents knew for me and my siblings to have the life that I'm having now, that we're having, we had to be born on American soil. Yeah. So me being the oldest of four siblings, my dad knew that he had to do everything that he could to get enough money because they were living in Africa at the same time. Yeah. I'm first generation in the States, right? So I'm a son of immigrants, right? So that's really where that tenacious drive, right, and that passion, that all stems from. Because we don't let any opportunity go by because of the opportunities that weren't given to my parents, and my uncles and aunts and other cousins that were in Africa and are still in Africa today. Yeah. So my dad he worked every job that he could. He was a chef. He was nighttime security guard, right? Trying to put himself through school. Got my mom a visa. Put my mom on a plane. Literally, she was literally like 8 months pregnant with
So
me at the time.
he was living in America.
He living in Africa at the time.
Living in Africa,
but to get a visa for my mom to get over to the States, right? Because I was about to be born, and he was like, "Look, I need my son to be born on American soil," because he understood how hard it is for you to become an American citizen if you're not born here, right? But if you're born here, you're automatically in.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So he knew that. So that's called foresight, man. So having that vision, right? That vision of what he wanted his family to be like, and the types of experiences and the life that he wanted us to have, he knew it had to start with his firstborn son being born on American soil. So literally, my mom, they had to sign waivers and all that saying, hey, if this kid's born on a plane, they're not liable, right? So then boom, mom lands in Westerville, Ohio in April, right? And then literally I was born the very next month in May. It's wild, man. So my dad's vision like just worked, right? Like talk about timing, right? So literally, mom is living here. We were living in Worthington at the time. Had some relatives over that was helping to take care of us until my dad could get himself over, right? And he was able to come over. And then you talk about my mom and dad just went to work. They literally, my dad, he went ahead and put himself through school, right? Went ahead and got his PhD in philosophy, right? And he ended up becoming an architect for the state of Ohio, right? So he went to architecture school, got all of his degrees, right? And then from there was able to become an adjunct professor at 3 different universities, and he got his PhD, right? So you mean to tell me that with my dad literally having nothing and coming to this country, how can I do nothing with everything that he's given me? You know what I mean? So then my mom, that's really where my faith comes from. That's where my faith and my discipline comes from, because that's all she was all about. Like she's the equivalent of like a warden at the women's correctional facility, right? So if she's dealing with people who have gotten into the system, unfortunately, right? But then how can I, as a child, right, like not have that discipline to listen to everything that she tells me to do, So I think it was a strict household, but that really helped to form, who I am in my core, right? Being able to have that type of integrity, to have that type of drive and work ethic to be the best at anything that you put your hands to, but at the same time, make sure that at the epicenter is faith, right? Ultimate faith in God, right? And that's where, there's days where you don't want to get up, you don't want to go to church. My mom is coming, she's ripping those covers off. She's like, get up, we're going to church. And I appreciate her for that, because, as we go along and as we sometimes stray, right, we always have that anchor in Christ that pulls us right back because of the groundwork and the frameworks that she laid, right, when we were younger, as kids.
Yeah, man, I want to lean into that a little bit, just because you're talking about faith, man. It's just like, it's so important, man. It's everything, really. Can you tell me a time that, that you had to walk through, though? It was difficult, and really it's just, you're like, God, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going, but it's just like, you just had that faith, man. You had to maintain that. And can you recall a time, like, I guess, recently or in the past, like in your professional career, that you kind of were walking through that?
Absolutely. I would say back in, so I got to take it back to start to get this right. So
let's unpack it.
Absolutely, man. So coming from the Broncos, right? I just had my third injury, my second surgery at the Broncos, right? So that's what had put me on injury reserve, right? Tore my biceps tendon off the bone, right? So man, I'm coming in as a smoking, just rookie, right? Just doing all the things that I needed to do to make the team, man. And it was a tremendous time, man. And it was a ride of my life. But then when you get injured again, man, it's just like, God, why? Why is this happening, right? You start to question, right? And that's the last thing that you ever want to do is question, right? Because that's like when God asked Peter to step out of the boat, right? Tell him to walk on water, right? He gets out and he starts to believe and he's doing it. He's walking. And what does he do? He looks back, right? He looks back and he starts to sink, right? It's the same exact thing where you literally, he's giving you everything that you need. You have all the wherewithal, you have all the confidence in the world, your abilities, right? The ability to do the things that you set out to do and that you want to do and that he's called for you. But you begin to doubt because of you let outside factors come in, right? And that's one thing that I always say, man, is that there comes a time where you have to have isolation, right? And visualization. And that will create dedication, right? And that motivation, right? To get to where you want to be, get to where you know you need to be. But when you let outside factors come in, it starts to crowd that judgment. And one of the biggest illusions, right? And that that cripples people is fear, right? The illusion of fear is one of the worst things that you can ever allow to creep into your mind, because that will kill your mindset, and that's where dreams go to die, right? So I say that to say, where I was at the Broncos, now I'm made the team, right? And then the second year I made the team again, but then get hurt and get injured again, right? Made the 53-man roster, like, oh my gosh, right? And then you start to question, right? But then after that, kept going, and I stayed consistent, right? Stayed consistent, not only in your mindset, but all the things that you do day in and day out, right? I always ask myself, what did you do today to be a champion tomorrow, right? What did you sacrifice today to be a champion tomorrow, right? And if you're not asking yourself that constantly, day in and day out, you're not holding yourself accountable to you and the people that you love, right? And the people that you're responsible for, right? So ended up getting released after we had won the Super Bowl, even though that was a tremendous time, man. Had a blast, right? And we were able to win with my brothers, right? With DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller and TJ Ward, and Gary Kubiak and Wade Phillips being a coach, and Coach Kolar was my D-line coach, Malik Jackson, Derek Wolfe. I mean, just all the guys that we had a tremendous time with, and my brothers that I forged so many memories with, and just, I mean, you're in battle with them, man, day in and day out, right? And then now you get sent to the Jets, right? So I go to the Jets, right? And then it's a whole new team, it's a whole new philosophy, it's a whole new game plan. But again, just stayed consistent and kept going, and then ended up getting hurt again, right? So getting hurt again, and that was it. So I came back to Ohio, and funny story about this, I come back to Ohio, and I'm like, okay, now what do I do next, right? So I'm still training, I'm still working out, I'm still eating right, still just because I'm always about stay ready, so you don't have to what? Get ready. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So staying ready, man, staying ready. I get a call, the New England Patriots, right? The Browns, right? So I've got trials coming up. Then one day I get a call from Ed Terwilliger. Ed Terwilliger was my head Braves. You already know.
Hey, for you guys that don't know this, me and Kenny went to the same high school. I mean,
he's
a little older than me, but we went to the same high school. Shout out Olentangy Braves.
Shout out Olentangy Braves, Braves for life.
Yes, sir.
So Ed Terwilliger, our head coach at Olentangy High School, right? Tremendous guy, man. Love this guy. Gives me chills, man. Just the amount of just memories that we've had together, and he really helped to shape me as a young high school player, and prepared me to get on to college, which then prepared me for the NFL, right? So Coach T calls me up, was like, Kenny, what are you up to? I'm like, hey man, just got back, trying to figure out what's my next move now, thinking about Skillaware, because I had started working on Skillaware back at Duke University when I was a junior, right? So I had started, that
seed was planted.
That seed was planted a while ago. This is a vision that came to me from God, man. It was like, look, instead of waiting for somebody else to create the equipment and the products that you need on the market today, why not do it yourself, right? So that's when I started working with my girlfriend at the time, who now is my wife, right, Layla, right? So started working with her on the products, right, and trying to just get my patents rolling, which was tremendous because patents take a long time. So this whole time that I'm at Duke and then into the Broncos and over to the Jets, my patents are going through the patent process, and they eventually in 2020 and 2021 get granted, right? Full utility patents on our flagship products, right? So see how God works. He was like, I knew that I'm going to plant this seed in you, right? And I'm just going to continue to cultivate and nurture it as you're going along and collecting these just eclectic experiences that you're going to need to have, because they're all going to culminate in this moment right here with Skeleware, which is tremendous, right? So now fast forward back to with Coach T, when he called me, he's like, how about you, are you in town? Which is Columbus, Ohio, right? We're born and raised. And I'm like, yeah, I am. He's like, how about you just come down to Ohio State, come down to our the football facility. I want to, catch up, and I got some people you want to meet. Had no idea this day was going to change my life. So ended up going up there, right? I called Coach T. He comes, lets me in. Man, huge hug. Almost knocked him over, man. But then he's like, hey, man, just talk to me. Tell me what you do. So we're walking through the hallways. And I remember I ran into, who was it? Brian Hartline at the time, right? Who is not the receivers coach yet, right? So he was still at quality control. And then after that, I met Tony Alford. And I met the whole staff, right? And then finally, I met Larry Johnson, right? So I met Coach J and the GOAT, man, the GOAT of all, the godfather of all D-line play, man. And I met him, and immediately we hit it off, man. That became my guy. And he invited me into his office, and we're sitting there just talking. And, man, it was just here's my thing. Energy can be nor created nor destroyed, right? It's only transferred, right? So that's one thing that never lies, is energy. So when we met, we were on the same wavelength right off the bat. So after we got done talking and just spending time with each other, I remember when I was getting ready to walk out the door, he said, "Well, there's my position under my graduate assistant position is going to be coming available. Think you might be a good fit for this job." So
was that the first day that you met
that was
him?
the first day that I met him.
So you guys clicked like that.
Clicked like that, man. Clicked like that. When I tell you there's no greater man, aside from my dad, of course, no greater man on the planet that truly cares about other people and is altruistic and has the ability to motivate, lead, and inspire and discipline the next generation of athletes. There's no one greater than Larry Johnson, man. I'm gonna say that right now. I learned so much from him. I learned how to literally lead a room, right? Lead a room like a father leads his household. And that's the key, man. That's the key, because he always taught me that if you show players love, give them ownership, they'll run through walls for you, right? And they'll never forget you, because you're doing everything for their benefit, for their good, right? And you're showing them love in the process, right? And now it's tough love, right? It's tough love because I need you to go out there and perform, but that's because this is what you're here to do, right? No one goes to a university to lose games. Nobody goes to get D's, C's, D's. You go to get A's, you go to win championships, right? So at Ohio State, I can tell you that right now. When you walk in those doors, man, your head is held high, and you have a relentless pursuit of excellence in everything that you do, right? And that follows you. That goes with you. I mean, I even have a band, the bands that we used to wear all the time right here, called Long Live the Brotherhood, right? And then it's E plus R equals O, right? And that was a Urban Meyer and Ryan Day thing, because I was literally hired on that Urban Meyer's last year, so his last season in 2018, and then retained by Ryan Day in his first season. So I was there for that whole transition, right, in both staffs, and it was just a tremendous time period. But again, just learned so much about elite organizations, right, creating elite men in society, right, but then at the same time winning multitudes of games and just teaching men to be men and contributing men in society. You know, like you said, better husbands, better fathers, better sons, right? But then
need that. We're missing a lot of that.
Missing a lot of that, but still savages on the field. You know what I mean? You got to, because
you learn how to control it.
You have to learn how to control it and channel it, right? And that's the same thing we were doing with being from on the field, like you said, and taking that into the world of business. So that's how that whole thing. That's how I got to start coaching at Ohio State, man. Coached there for 2 seasons. Then after that, got a call, got several interviews, and got accepted the role to become the defensive coordinator and D-line coach at Fordham University up in the Bronx in New York. Man, tremendous time. So now I became a defensive coordinator and I'm a D-line coach at the same time. And I've only been coaching for 3 years, right? So that shows you just the type of not only person that I am, but more importantly, the mentorship and the guidance that I had to prepare me for that next level. And that was from Larry Johnson and from Ryan Day and from Urban Meyer, you know. So that was a tremendous time, man. And it all came from that one call that I got from our guy, right?
It only takes one.
Ed Terwilliger. It just takes one. Always be ready when your number is called. Because think about it, if I wasn't ready at that time period, would have never gotten that offer, and then life would have been completely different.
So after Fordham, kind of where'd you go after that?
Absolutely. So after Fordham, I actually got the call to go up to UConn to become their defensive line coach. And that's actually something a lot of people don't know. And it was a huge decision, actually, a huge fork in the road that me and my family had to actually, sit down and evaluate before making the decision that we made. So I got a call from the not only the head coach, but also, the president of the university at the time, just saying, look, we've been following your career, and this is something that we believe you could help to take us to the next level based on your players play hard for you, right? Coming from Ohio State and from Fordham, I think you're ready to take it to take your talents really to Storrs, Connecticut. And man, I was so grateful for that, and it was a huge. It would have been a huge leap for my career, right, in terms of coaching and then on to the next, but. Respectfully.
Yeah, why did you take that?
I know, right? So respectfully, I stepped aside from coaching at that time because my second patent had just been fully issued from the U.S. Patent Attorney's Office for Skeleware, right? So now it's like, look, if I take this job, right, and I'm sitting here just talking about it, like, we're just going through it, just like we take this job, there's a good chance Skeleware will be no more, right? Because now we'll just be full-fledged coaching, and who knows what's going to come up next, right? So we prayed about it and prayed about it and prayed about it. And the crazy thing is,
was God quick to answer on that? Like,
no, not quick.
Or did it take like steps of faith? Like, were you walking in faith and just like as you were doing that, he was answering, or like what that kind of looked like, I guess, like practically? Because I feel like sometimes, at least I've noticed it, is people would just be like praying for something, but it's like they're not moving.
Right.
And it's just like you gotta move in faith, you know? So like how'd that, like, did he answer right away? Like what that look like?
Like you said, you got to take action, right?
Yeah,
Because you have to, and don't confuse movement with progress. You know what I mean? So because you can be running on a treadmill and still staying in place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you got to move and be intentional about the actions that you're taking to make sure that you're putting yourself in the best position to be successful.
Yeah.
Right. So it wasn't the quickest answer. I'm telling you that right now. It took about a week and a half. But
That sounds pretty quick to me.
But when they're asking, you got to go, man.
Yeah.
You got to go.
Yeah.
So one thing came to me, man. It was just like, they were like, look, okay, if you are not going to come coach for us, then who do you know that's like you that we can get to coach on the staff? I was like, huh. And one name literally came to my mind, and I was like, well, you guys are gonna like this because he's got the same first name, different last name, and it was Kenny McClendon, right, who had been coaching at YSU for a few years,
yeah.
right, and he literally, I told them that name, and within like 24 hours, they hired him. Like they hired him flat off the way. Like, so wow. He became, so talk about paying it forward, right?
Yeah.
So, and then we talked really quickly after that, and it was just like, he was like, hey man, like they called him and said, look, you recommended me, man. Don't even really have to like do a full like interview or anything. Just off your word. So he was like, man, I just appreciate you, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
So think about this though. Think about how the Lord works and how things come full circle. So after I did that and stepped aside, literally took a leap of faith, man. A leap of faith. One of the biggest leaps of faith, right? Decided to come back to Columbus, Ohio. And before we did that, I said, we've always wanted to, and I'm a firm believer that generational wealth stems a good deal from real estate. And that's one way that you can generate it, right? So I said, well, before we move back, we bought our first investment property in Columbus, right? Yeah. And then 6 months later was able to buy our primary property. And this was like during COVID. So from moving back to Ohio and then starting full-time on Skeleware, right? We were able to get a grant, and it was a $100,000 grant from Rev One Ventures, right? It was a DEI grant, which was tremendous, and that's been fueling product development, right? And then from there, we were able to get another six-figure investment as well. And then we had a doctor, Dr. Raymond Wawapa, who was an orthopedic surgeon at Orthopedic One. He came on board and was able to invest a six-figure check as well. So that's been just so God-sent in terms of helping to create the cash that we needed to propel this dream and propel Skeleware forward. Yeah. So that's what we're utilizing right now to come out with our products. So Skeleware is innovative protective equipment, AI-powered software that enhances safety and skill development. And right now we have 2 fully issued patents, right? We have a multitude of purchase orders right now as well from various colleges and high school teams. But then we're also working, we have 11 other products coming down the pipeline, which is tremendous. And we're about 5.5 months out from being able to test our products. And that's coming very quickly. So super excited. But if you total pretty much all of that's come into Skeleware, it's right up around that salary that I was going to be getting from coaching. So look at how that works, right? Was able to propel somebody else's career, and then at the same time, God was able to bless us on the backside, right?
You didn't even know that was coming.
Had no idea that was coming, man. But again, took that leap of faith.
Did you have anyone, so I'm curious, like, obviously you have an opportunity to go be a coach at a Division I, college, and you're like, nah, I'm going to go chase this entrepreneurial dream. Like there had
some type of crazy, right?
There had to have been some people being like, bro, you're crazy for that. Or maybe not like that, but they're just like, sure you want to do this? Like you got something right here. Like that's not like Skeleware. That's not guaranteed yet,
Correct.
So was there anybody, and obviously we don't kind of name drop or anything like that, but were there people out there that are kind of like, a little confused.
Yeah.
There were?
Absolutely.
How'd you navigate that? Because I mean,
Prayed on it.
Prayed on
I
it.
prayed on it, but also stayed consistent with my dream, right? Stay consistent. And again, like I said, right, you have to, visualization is so powerful. And I think that's one of the most overlooked methods of being able to traverse heavy waters and just the entrepreneurial landscape that a lot of people do fail at, right? But it's because you have to have faith in the things unseen, right?
Yeah.
Because we're creating something out of thin air, right? You're creating something. When you get a patent, that means that there's no prior art. There's nothing like what you have, right? That you're bringing to market. So you're awarded a patent for that, right? For protection, and to have 2 fully issued utility patents, I think that's a tremendous. Just first of all, it just goes to show that you're on the right track and you're doing something that's valuable and that's necessary. Because I realize that athletes aren't staying safe, right? We're getting bigger, faster, stronger, yet the athletic equipment on the market is not keeping pace.
Yeah.
So why wait for somebody else to come out with the products and the equipment that you need today? Why not do it yourself, right? So that's been the whole mission, and that's to literally just embrace that and to innovate in a space that lacks innovation, right? I was wearing the same athletic equipment that I was wearing at Old Tangent High School that I wore when I was playing with the Broncos and the Jets.
Problem.
That's a problem, right? That's a problem.
Yeah.
So that's where Skeleware is stepping in. And that's where we're aiming to fill those gaps in protection. Now, the crazy thing about that, a really cool thing about that, is that not only athletes need protection, right? So we've got construction, we've got military, we've got packaging companies, right? And then even just the DIYers around the house, because now everybody's got access to YouTube University and just wants to learn and go build things in their backyard. So to have all these different outlets to be able to also supply not only AI software, but then also the protective equipment, I mean, it's absolutely tremendous. So things are taking off, and I'm very, very excited to be on this,
that's exciting.
this journey.
So you're talking about the importance of visualization. And what's that, I guess, practically look for you? Like, is there like, do you like in your morning routine or whatever, you like just like visualize, like what kind of, like you visualize yourself like Skeleware taking off? I don't know, or like you visualize yourself just like becoming that, like that next level of who you're pursuing, like that next Kenny, you know? Is there any like practice, or is it kind of just more so like it's just a framework that you've just adopted in your head? You're just like, I'm just constantly thinking about the person I'm going to become, and like I'm working towards them today. I'm taking care of the things I need to, so I can become that person that I need to be tomorrow. Is there anything practical that you're kind of doing to like for that visualization? Or
that's a great question, man. So I would say, even if a good way to illustrate this would be to take it back to 2011, right? So 2011, I just switched over from tight end to defensive end at Duke, right? So I got the Heather Dennis like best position change of the spring, right? Which was another just a cool award. But the way that I looked at it at that time was, I want to be the best, and I told myself I wanted to be the best, and I also told people around me that I am the best, right? It wasn't cockiness, but it was accountability. Because if I wake up and I tell Daniel, hey, I'm the best, then guess what? When you go to check my stats, you better see that I'm the best, right? So it better reflect, it better be backed up. So what did I do? If I'm telling myself I'm the best every single day, you are the best defensive end in the nation, right? In the ACC and in the nation, then you need to start acting like it. So what did I do? I start every day I wake up, I'm the best, right? Write it on your mirror. Make sure it's written on your mirror everywhere that you can see it, right? And then on top of that, you need to make sure that you're eating like the best, right? So I wasn't putting anything that's bad in my body, right? I'm drinking a gallon of water a day. I'm taking all of my vitamins, man. I'm doing all this, everything that I need to make sure that my body is running like a high performance machine that it is, right? Then on top of that, I'm going to make sure that I get no less than 8 hours of sleep every night, because I can't have any brain fog. I got to be able to be able to see and visualize and do all the things that I need to do on that field, but I can't be tired, right? So I need to put myself again in the best position to be successful. So not only am I eating right, I'm getting all my sleep, then I'm cutting out all distractions, right? What did I say earlier, right? No outsiders, right? So you have to have that dedication, right? That visualization, right? That drive, that motivation, right? To be great. So You can't let anything else in.
Yeah.
So I wasn't playing video games. I didn't have time. At the time, a lot of people don't know this also, I was studying biological anthropology and anatomy at Duke University. I'm on pre-med. I'm on track to being a doctor, right? I was going to be a cardiovascular surgeon. So I'm in class and I'm in there by myself, right? There's no other football players around me. So I'm in there studying, I'm working. We got lab practicals. We got like cadaver legs, right? That I have to like take these flags and go ahead and mark out where's the sartorius, where's the vastus lateralis, right? Put the patella tendon, right? Your semimembranosus, semitendinosus, all things that I'm learning. But at the same time, we got to go play Virginia Tech in Blacksburg, right? So I got to make sure that I'm dominating, right, on the field, right? So again, a relentless pursuit of excellence, right? I had no time for anything else, no time. So I had to, it was either I was in school or I was on the field. And if I wasn't on the field, I was in the training room, right? Getting my body right, hot tub, cold tub, right? Doing all the things I need to do, the contrast, right? Making sure I'm getting my protein shakes, my bars, right? And then I'm at training table, making sure I'm eating right. And then guess what? It's time to go sleep because I promised myself I'm going to get 8 hours of sleep a day. Watch how this worked. That year, that season, right? The 2011 season, our first game, right, we come out there, I get 2 sacks. And again, talks about visualization. I visualized myself when I was sleeping in bed, sacking the quarterback, exactly how I was going to do it. And it happened. It happened just like that. 2 sacks the first game. I'm leading the nation. I'm leading ACC in sacks. Then that was Chase Reddick. We're Chase Reddick, Boston College, right? And then after that, we got Stanford and the mighty Cardinals coming to Duke University, Durham, North Carolina. And that was when Andrew Luck, me and Andrew Luck are the same class. Andrew Luck is the quarterback. He's got this mountain of guys in front of him that are protecting him. Nobody had even sniffed him, come close. I got 2 sacks on him.
Let's go. Let's go.
Sacks.
Come on.
2 sacks. Now, Kenny Anunike's got 4 sacks in the first 3 games, right? I'm leading the nation in sacks. I'm leading the ACC. At that time, I was the best. You see how that happened?
Yeah.
And it's all because I made a decision and I was intentional about my decision and my actions to make sure that it backed up everything that I was saying and the mindset, the framework, like you said earlier, that I was putting forward, right? Now, that very next game at Tulane, I'm running down the field because, the running back broke through. Everybody knows that I don't give up on plays, right? That's just me. I go, right? So I'm chasing him down like 20 yards downfield. My safety is coming down as well, so we're eclipsed. So it's the safety, running back, and me, right? Running. The safety juke. The running back jukes to get out of the way. My safety had already committed to the tackle. Closes his eyes and he tackles me. Anterior lateral blow to my outside of my left knee. I'm 255 pounds, 6'5". I do a full front flip, land on my leg. You could just see my leg like wobble. ACL, MCL, done.
What year was this? What year?
This was 2011.
What year of college?
This is my junior year.
Junior year.
I was done for the season. After being on a high, I'm the bet. I'm like, I'm leaving this year. I'm out of here, right? They're like, oh man, draft stock going up, right? I sacked Andrew Luck, Chase. You name it. I'm getting 2 sacks a game. You got guys that don't have 2 sacks in their career. You know what I'm saying? So a game, it was a blessing, but it was also something that needed to happen, right? Because think about it. If I had actually come out the year that I was supposed to come out, then that means I would have come out instead of 2014, right, going to the Broncos, I would have come out prior to that, right? And then I would have actually missed the Super Bowl if everything had went on just how it did. And I was only going to spend 2 years at the Broncos. 2014, 2015, we win it. Then it would have been 2013, 2014, and then off to the Jets the year that we won the Super Bowl. You have no idea what God has in store for you. You have no idea. So that's why never question. Just go, man. Just go. Stay consistent, right? Keep the faith and know that whatever he has for you will be for you, right? It will be for you as long as you don't quit. And that's all that don't quit. Just keep going because no matter what, even if you don't know how to do whatever it is, you don't know how to do a podcast or you don't know how to race a car, build this plane as you fly it, right? You got a steering wheel, you got a wing, get on the tarmac. Let's go. Just start moving. Because when people see movement and they see you making progress, if they're a good person and they're where you want to be or they have the wherewithal, they'll help you, right? But how can I help you if you don't even want to help yourself?
Yeah, I feel like, we're all well equipped. It's just people fail to act on it.
That's it.
You know, it relates back to that action, taking action.
Take action. Take action.
Take action.
Because, and here's another thing. If I ask you, where is the greatest potential on this earth? What would you say? The greatest potential.
Greatest potential, like
for anything. The greatest potential.
Oh my gosh. The greatest, like, are we talking business? We talking about like?
I'm talking about everything. Just the greatest culmination of potential, like greatest collection of potential.
I feel like it'd be inside of us, right?
It is inside of you. But guess what? Where are you? In the graveyard.
Oh.
The greatest potential is in the graveyard.
Ooh.
How many people have taken the greatest ideas, the most, like the next rocket fueled by dirt or whatever it may be, they've all taken it to the grave because they never took action. Never took action. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, how crazy is that,
that's such
right?
a good, I've heard that, like, it's been a while since I've heard that before, but that's so real.
The greatest collection of potential is in the graveyard. So many people take all of their dreams and they never took action.
Yeah. So I got to ask, when it comes to your dreams, because, we're all blessed with them. It just comes down to, like, are you going to act on them? Are you going to step into those? But
correct.
I know I've shared dreams before with people and kind of look at you and, like, you're a little crazy, right? So how important do you think it's, like, should we be sharing those dreams with people, or is it more so keep it to yourself and just, like, keep going? Because, everyone has an opinion, right? And that's what I'm starting to really learn right now, just, like, as I'm entering, like, my entrepreneurial journey, and just, like, on this, like, in the very beginning of my journey, it's just, like, everyone has a opinion, everyone has a different set of lens to, like, look through things. So it's just, like, but I also understand the importance of, like, speaking things, because, like, words are powerful. We were talking about that earlier.
Words are powerful.
Words are extremely powerful. So have you, like, do you stray away from kind of, like, sharing your dreams? Obviously, I'm sure you tell your wife, like, you guys talk about that stuff all the time, but do you try and vocalize those, or do you kind of keep it to yourself and it's more so just, like, you're going to see?
Another great question, man. I say you've got to understand who is your audience, right? So when you're telling somebody your dreams, first of all, there's a level of dopamine that gets released, and it can be false for you if you haven't achieved what it is that you're trying to convey, right? On the flip side, if I'm telling you my dreams and you're someone that looks at me like, man, you have any bit of jealousy in you, right? Because I'm telling you right now, haters only hate on people that are doing something that they can't do themselves, right? So if you start telling somebody that is jealous of you, or somebody that wants what you got, you start telling them your dreams, that could be detrimental to you because they don't want to see you win. And a lot of people don't want to see you win. So you have to be very careful about who you share your dreams with, or who you share the visions that God has put inside of you with, because they might literally try to sabotage you and take you down. That's why I say I like to move in the shadows, man. I'm like, my favorite plane on the planet, stealth bomber, because by the time you see it, it's too late. It's too late, right?
Yeah. It sounds like
that's how you got to move. It sounds like the night train, right?
We got to get into that here soon. But
I like it.
Just moving in the shadows, moving in silence.
Move in silence until need be, right? Like I said, everybody needs mentors, right?
For sure.
You need to find somebody that's been where you're trying to go and is willing to help you get to that point as well. Get
to that next
right?
level.
So of course you want to share your dream with them, right? Yeah. But that person has already expressed they want to help you, right? Yeah. So you just got to fill it out. You know what I mean? Yeah. You got to fill it out. But share your dreams with those that you got to be very cautious about it, but those that you believe, are legitimately, have the ability to help you.
Yeah. Sometimes I think, it's typically the people that are closest to you that are the most critical. So, like, when you're sharing these dreams with, like, your family and friends, it's just, there's been times where it's just like, I'm going to stay quiet just because. Have you ever felt that before, where you're just like,
absolutely,
just got to sit back and,
absolutely,
like, you're going to see?
Yeah, no, you have to have that. Like, you're just going to see, right? Because it gets to that point, because sometimes you'll share it with them and be like, are you sure? Like, come on, man, you got this sure thing over here. Are you sure you want to go start this? Like, you got that's a guaranteed check coming in, but are you sure you want to go be an entrepreneur and maybe go without a few checks until it can, grow and become what it's going to become, So there's times where you do just got to be like, all right, you know what? I get it. I'm going to just sit back and show you, right? And then when they start to see things happen, they're like, oh, because here's the thing. That vision that you have, that was never their vision to begin with.
Yeah.
So how can you expect somebody else to see that vision when it was never theirs, right, in the first place?
Yeah.
It's yours. Now it's your job to fulfill it, right, and to build people and bring people along the way that can help to build that dream. But then you also have to continuously download that vision into them. Same thing I do with my engineers right now, right? All the products and the things that we're building at Skeleware, that's my vision. That's it's in my head, right? Yeah. Now it's my job as a CEO to extrapolate that, illustrate that picture, and download it into those engineers so that they can bring it to fruition. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I call, I'm a visionary architect, right? Can get up to 30,000 feet and see, right, where this plane needs to go, right? And then hire and recruit people that can help that to bring that vision to fruition in real life, right? Yeah. Because everybody has ideas, right? But far too few people ever execute on them, right?
Yeah.
It's all about the art of execution.
Yeah.
All about it, right? But again, it starts with taking action. And when I say take action, man, because here's the thing. In life, you're never fully ready to do anything. Never. But you are ready enough. Yeah. You're ready enough to take that first step, right? Because that first step will lead to the second step. Second step will lead to the third step. Third step will lead to your 80th step, right? But you had to take step one first. But like I said, most people don't take step one.
Oh, man, they're scared. People get scared.
They get scared, right? Because they're too busy thinking about what other people think about them.
Yeah.
If you go through this life trying to please everybody, you're going to die trying. Yeah. Right? You got to work on pleasing you, right? Work on pleasing God first, right? Yeah. Work on doing all the things that you know you need to do, right? Don't worry about them, because once you start to take off, watch everybody come back around.
Everyone start clapping their hands.
They start clapping, yeah. But they won't be shooting in the gym, right?
Yeah. Man, no, that's so good. I want to hit back on that. So that when we were talking about that night train.
Night train.
Where'd that nickname come from?
All right, I got two characters in this one that I got to attribute this name to. So Coach Noel Durfee, who was my strength coach at Duke University, and then Kelby Brown, who was my linebacker, my favorite linebacker at Duke. Unfortunately, he had several ACL surgeries, but he could have 100% played in the NFL. I'll tell you that. Great kid. I mean, all about God too, just like faith and just. But he's got a beautiful family now, and he's doing his thing. Yeah. But I'm in the weight room, and I think I had just benched like 465 pounds, like on the bench. I mean, it was crazy. But after that, Coach Durfee, he was like, man, he was just sitting there. He's like, you're just like a locomotive trapped in a defensive end's body. He's like, I think I'm going to call you the night train. Night train. And then one of Kelby Brown, the linebacker, he was like, night train. He was like, whoa, what is that? He's like, I like that name. He's like, hey, yo, Kenny's a night train. So then it just took off, man. Like, I wish NIL was around back then, man. I mean, because they were making shirts, they were making all, and I wasn't getting a dime from it. You know what I mean? But then it all became like this, like, choo, choo, like
I saw that move. I saw that move.
That's it. So
that's
it's like,
what it was.
all aboard. And
there
then, man, I would get the whole stadium rocking, man. Like, if it's quiet, I would just turn around and just crank it.
What'd that feel like when you get the people going like that?
Dude, there's like no greater feeling.
Because I know you're an energy guy.
I'm a big energy guy.
Actually, I got a quote from
big energy guy.
I got a quote from let's see, Zach Harrison.
My God, Olentangy. Olentangy Orange.
That's right. I forgot that he went to Orange.
He was number one defensive end in the nation.
He was also a dog at track.
100%. Right? He could have did whatever he wanted. I
saw him running. I remember I was a freshman in high school, and he was I was a sophomore, and something like that. And this dude ran 100 meters. So fast,
so smooth,
big,
right? Huge,
gigantic,
huge.
Let's see, yeah. So I said Anunike's biggest thing is energy. It's hard to come into practice and not match him. He's yelling and screaming, and his voice is all intense. You can't be lazy about it because he just brings it out of you. That's his biggest attribute.
That's it. And
where that energy come from?
What is a coach, man? Yeah. A coach is there to motivate, inspire, and discipline, right? Yeah. Like that's the pinnacle at the core. That's what you got to do. Yeah. So I've got to bring that out of him because he is a dog. You're talking about a savage on the field, but the nicest kid off the field, man. Beautiful family, right? Just tremendous in what. Because I played a small part. I was just small part.
Yeah.
Coach Larry Johnson is the one that really got this kid to be who he is now, playing for the Atlanta Falcons. You know, doing his thing, right? Just got a sack and everything. So he's a tremendous kid. But that energy, man, that passion, it comes from the passion.
Yeah.
It stems from the passion. I think that's a byproduct of my passion.
Yeah.
And if you're an entrepreneur, or if you're in business, or if you're anything you do in life, you have to have passion.
Got to.
Passion is what's going to, when it flows, it's what's going to keep you going when things are hitting the fan, right? You don't know your left from right, back's against the wall. That passion kicks in, man. That passion, that dedication, right? And that visualization of where you want to be. I don't care where I'm at right now. Where am I going to be, right? But then let that passion fuel you, right? And get you to that point. See what I mean?
Yeah. So, I mean, Larry Johnson, obviously, you guys were doing something right with that. I mean, Nick Bosa, Chase Young, Zach. I mean, who else was on that D line?
Oh man, Draymond Jones. We just had some guys in the draft this time with Javante Jean-Baptiste. Who was it? Jonathan Cooper, who's at the Broncos now as well, right? I mean, we had some tremendous guys, man.
What is kind of so like when you think about like Larry Johnson, like his coaching style, like obviously they're producing and he's producing results that are not normal.
Uncanny.
You know, not normal. There's not any other defensive line coach in the country who's doing what he's doing. So it's like, well, that makes me think like, all right, well, he's doing something different.
Correct.
Right? He's not, his inputs aren't the same inputs as everyone else because he's getting different outputs.
Right.
What, if you were to like think, I mean, kind of what is it that like just separates Coach Johnson from the rest?
Man, there's so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'd be here all day if I had to go through everything.
Couple
that
things.
man is.
What do you think?
I'll say number one is his faith. You know what I mean? His faith in God. I mean, he's got a big Bible that sits right there on his desk, and he even do Bible studies with the kids, 100%. Right? Like he'll have the kids come in and do Bible study.
Yeah.
No, like we're gonna talk about this. You know, we're gonna do it. You know, but obviously he'll invite the kid. You know, and let you know he's not forcing down anybody's throat. But when it's there, you see it and you ask questions, and he's like, "Well, let's read." And then you get into it, and now they're just like, "Oh my goodness!" Now I'm getting a drink from the well. You know what I mean?
Living water.
Living water. You know, 100%. So that's the first thing, man. It's just his ultimate faith.
Yeah.
Second thing is that the minute that a kid walks in his doors, they're literally like his son, and they know it. And he'll tell you like I see you as my son, right? Like, and I love you. He'll say that because especially in the African American community, we don't hear that enough, right? Like another man saying I love you to another man, right? That's big. We need that. Human beings at the end of the day, right? So being able to, like I said, and this is what he taught me, show the kids love. Give them ownership, right? Like this is our line, like R2X, right? The D line, like show them love, give them ownership, they'll run through walls for you and they'll remember you for life. And that's exactly what happens. I mean, I can't tell you, Chase Young will come back, Nick Bosa will come back on the off season, right? Just to train with coach, just to spend time with him and then get extra, training, even though they're at the next level. You know what I mean? I mean, I wish I had Coach Johnson when I was playing. Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? Like the things that I learned that he taught me to help teach the kids, I'm like, man, I could have used this back when I was at Duke. I mean, I would have been getting around the edge that much faster. I would have been that much more efficient in my technique, right? In my ability to get to the quarterback and ability to understand the game. Yeah. He really breaks down the game to such a granular level that the kids just understand it. You get it. So that when you're out on the field, right, during games, they're not thinking. They're just playing. Because you studied it. We've been there before. We've visualized. We've learned, right? And you understand what your opponent is going to do so that you can put yourself in the best position to be successful, right? That was the key component to, I think, the success to what the guys are doing now, because he would teach he would teach me, right? Because he's always big about coaching the coaches, right? Yeah. So he would coach me because I'm his right-hand man. Yeah. I'm his eyes and ears when he's not around. You know what I mean? So I got to be able to coach these kids when he's not there. So being able to understand coverages, understand offensive line movement, offensive run schemes, right, would help to put these kids in that best position to be successful, and it works, right? So combining all of those, man, and then just having a heart of gold, man. Yeah. I mean, nobody's got a bad thing ever to say about him. And I'm telling you, man, I learned so much from him about how to lead an elite organization, man. And you lead from within, right? Not from the top down, from within, because he's in it right there with us, you know? Yeah. So he literally leads the room like a father leads his household. Yeah. And I think that's the key component. He's not treating you like a number. Yeah. No, you're not 97. You're Nick Bosa. Or no, you're not. You're not 2. You're Chase Young. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you're like my son, right? Yeah. And we're gonna go to battle. We're gonna go to war together. So that when we got our back against the wall, I got your 6 and I know you got mine.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool. So, talking about, he's teaching you all these, just real life skills. When it comes to like leading an organization, that's what you're doing right now. Skeleware.
That's it.
So what's kind of, how are you, what's the company, look like structure? Who's a part of the team? Who's on your team?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm the CEO and founder, right? And then my wife, Layla, she is the Chief Research and Development Officer. So she is actually really cool, man. And she made sacrifices for this as well. Yeah. So she was, again, Duke graduate. She's on academic scholarship while I'm on athletic scholarship. So she's much smarter than me, man. And much more beautiful too. I look all right, but she's smoking. You know what I mean? So
there we go.
So she's gorgeous, man, but just gorgeous human being inside and out, in terms of just and then mind too, and just the way that she thinks about things. She puts a whole new perspective on things when I don't even see it. I'm like, whoa, how did you see that? But it's perfect. I'm like, I'm glad you're on my team. Yeah. Right. So she was actually at Duke, and then she went to
how'd you guys meet?
So that was a funny story. So she wouldn't give me the time of day at Duke, man. She wouldn't give me the time of day. She was like, I'm not dating no football player. I'm gonna no, just no.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm like, all right, so when can I just take you on a date? She's like, no. Right. I was like, all right. So I knew she liked to sing, and I was like, you're in the gospel choir, right? And she's like, yeah, I am. I'm like, when did they meet? And she was like, oh, they meet on Fridays, right? I was like, oh, yeah, cool. Bet. So I went and did my little homework, right? And went and talked to some of her friends and figured out when she would go to her or where it was. Yeah. I had no idea. So I pull up, right? And I talk to the choir director, and I'm like, hey, I like to drum. Look,
you got in the gospel choir?
I like to drum, right? So boom. She's like, oh, okay, we'll give you a shot. So the very next time that she got up there, she's on the mic like this. She's getting ready to sing. And they're like, actually, everyone, we have a new guest that's actually on the drums. Say hello to Kenny Anunike. I'm like, she's like, oh. You could see her mouth. She's like, oh my God. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, all right, 1, 2. I was rusty as all get out, man.
Yeah.
Rusty as all get out. But I did it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I was consistent with it, and I got better. I got so good at listening to this. So good, right? The gospel choir, like the finale, like at the very end, like when they put it on for the show for everybody, was the same day as the spring game, right? So I'm like, man, I don't know how I'm gonna be able to do this, but that's my girl, so I gotta get out there, right? So she still was not like trying to give me
a drummer, or you gonna be a
I'm gonna be a football player. So I go to Coach Cut, man. Coach Cut, and again, love Coach Cut, man. Yeah. He was one of the best coaches I ever had, man. Tremendous guy, very similar to Coach Jay in terms of coaching style, players coach, right? So I'm like, Coach, I like this girl. She's the lead singer in the gospel choir. I need to. I'm drumming. I gotta be there. He's like, Kenny. He's got this southern house. He's like, I'm like, Coach, I'm going to do the season, man. I'm going to dominate. And this is the year that I had, the sax and all that. So he was like, all right, Kenny, you better give me all you got that first half, all right? And then you can go. So, bro, I played in the first half, man, dominated, literally sprinted into the locker room. I get dressed, take a shower, man, and then I literally sprint over there, and I'm like still sweating. I got my little ties, man. And I get on the drums, man, and we had our little finale. And
you were drumming away.
I was drumming away. And she appreciated that. She was like, I've never had any guy ever do anything like that, go through those lengths.
So you got a chance with her after
I had a chance. That's it. I had a chance, and I had to capitalize. You know what I mean? So look, go for what you want in this life.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like you got to, right? And it takes you being different, like you said. She was like, man, there's no guy that's ever done that before. Yeah, because I'm different, right? But don't say it. Everybody says they different. Yeah. Be about it, right? Like, show me. Don't tell me.
Gotta be humble.
Right? That's it. So that's a hilarious story, man. But that's just me.
Story.
That's if I want something, I'm gonna go get it. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing with the NFL, right? It's the same thing with Skillaware. It's the same thing with real estate and all. I mean, if I want it, I'm gonna go get it. You know, and that's the attitude and the mentality that you gotta have, right? Because ain't nothing gonna be given to you in this life. You gotta go take it.
Nothing. Amen, man. Amen. So who else? Well, that was great story. I'm glad we talked about that.
I know, right? I'm glad you asked.
But what else does it? So who else is Skeleware team? Who else is part of the team? I know you guys just made a big hire recently.
We did.
Doctor,
we did.
Right?
Yep. So finishing up on Layla's part, because Layla's she's the Chief Research and Development Officer. She was at University of Chapel Hill, North Carolina, Chapel Hill. Go Duke. And then she was also at Duke
UNC
University.
and Duke?
Yeah, and then University of Maryland, and she was working in their medical schools, like their hospitals.
Yeah.
As clinical research coordinator, right? So she did all that, and then when she came here in Ohio, when I was coaching at Ohio State, she was a clinical research coordinator for Nationwide Children's Hospital, right, in their pulmonary division.
Yeah.
So she knows the FDA, she knows clinical trials. So her wealth of knowledge is invaluable to us right now on the staff, right? For Skeleware and all the things that we're getting ready to test, right? And then we got to quantify all the data points that we're gathering, right? So that we can make sure that they're backing up all of the claims that we're making for our protective equipment, our software. So cool thing right there, man. And then moving forward to our big hire that we just made, our first real hire outside of myself and Layla, Dr. Raymond Wuwapa, who's our Chief of Medical Innovation, and he is an orthopedic surgeon at Orthopedic One. Fantastic guy. Think about it. He's a hand surgeon, right? And he's coming on board because he believes in the fact that this is going to be revolutionary in protection, right? In protective equipment moving forward, powered by AI. So it's he came on board and he put in 6 figures as well, man. And he's just fantastic. Such a blessing. But he's also an innovator himself. So he's a part of True Color Bandages, right? Innovating and the patents on that, where it's the Band-Aids that actually match your skin color. Right?
Wow.
Like, yeah. So really cool. So he's an innovator. So he's in the trenches with us, man. He's not the normal doctor. Like, he's not the typical doctor. He's also has the ability to really help us decipher and go through this patent process, and also with building. He's in every meeting, right, with the engineers and all that. So he is invested. He's bought in, man. And that's what you want in an organization. Buy in, right? But it starts from the CEO and the founder with that vision, right? And that vision to go ahead and download into everyone within the organization, because you got to create that culture. You got to create that culture. And when you create that culture, man, that's how the business can thrive even when you're no longer around. And that's the epitome of a business, right? That's what you want.
Wow. So, I mean, I just keep harping on the importance of vision. Man.
Vision is everything, man. Vision is key. You have to visualize yourself. Far before anything is ever created, it starts up here first, right? Before it comes out into the world, right?
Yeah, there we go. So working alongside your wife, what's that like? Is it like your work, and then is there times where like you're just like, all right, we got to shut it off, like hard stop on work? Like, what's that been like? I mean, because you're living together, you're working together. Like, is it sometimes hard to balance?
You know, I don't think so.
You don't
because
think so?
Pick the right one. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And our personalities just match so well, right? I'm extremely extroverted. I'm extremely just go get it. Like, type of, but very process oriented, right? But then she's more reserved, right? And she's more I would say down to earth, right? And she's kind of like she has the ability to pull me out of the clouds, right?
Yeah.
But you got to be in the clouds, right, to visualize and to see, right? See where we're headed, but at the same time we got to be practical, right? And navigate down on earth to get us to where we need to go. But she also just brings just this, this wealth of just knowledge, but then also a different way of processing things, which when we come together, it's nice, man. The perspective is beautiful. And then it's cool because you're working with your best friend, you know what I'm saying? So then when it's like, all right, we just did all this work, like, this is awesome. Now let's shut it down and let's go have some fun. Like, let's go enjoy, you know what I mean? But she gets it. You know what I mean? She gets it because she's right there with me, So it's actually the perfect storm. I know a lot of people say, how do you work with, like you're saying, we love it, man, and it's you're
already doing life together.
I said, so why not do this together and build this empire together? You know what I'm saying? So, and that's the same thing with the real estate too, which is tremendous.
Well, because she's also a real estate agent.
She's a real estate agent,
So she's helping you find deals, all that stuff.
That's it. And then again, now it comes down to joining forces and putting our heads together, because we know we're creating the life and the legacy that we want our kids to inherit and be proud of, but still understand that they have to have that work ethic. They have to have that dog, that grind, right, to get after it. So that's why you set everything up into a trust so that we can write all the laws and all the things, how we dictate how it's going to come and the milestones that they have to hit to achieve to be able to unlock certain,
Have you started
things.
setting that up yet, like a trust?
Absolutely.
You have?
Absolutely.
What's that? I mean, is it like, I'm not too, like, quick, like, brief, like, what, like, trust? Like, what's it? I mean, I know it's like, I've heard of like family banks before, like, you know, I guess like super successful entrepreneurs, they'll like put a ton of money into a trust, and then like their kids, if they want to start a business, they can like, I guess, pull money out of it, like 0% or whatever. But what's like, I mean, is that kind of like what your trust looks like? I don't know. Like,
Absolutely.
I guess like.
So trust, man, are super, super powerful, right? And they need to be set up correctly. And there's a lot, there's a good amount of trust, right? But I have a trust. My wife's got a trust, right? And then we're trustees of each other's, right? So you have to have a trustee of that trust, right?
So different trusts,
different trusts, right? Different trusts, right?
Together.
And that's added protection, right? It's added protection. And then you want to take it a step further. You have your life insurance policies, right? And the beneficiaries of the life insurance policy are the trust. So that if anything ever happens to you, that triggers the death benefit to go ahead and pay off the debts of the trust, right? Wow. So you want to put everything you got in a trust, man. So like you said, my wife's a real estate agent, right? I'm the real estate investor, and we're both real estate investors. But when you purchase properties, right, and you have them in like your LLCs, but then you have the LLCs, held in trust, right? So then now those properties are, you get them, they're in the trust, right? So when they go into the trust, then what you have with this called step up in cost basis. So let's say for easy numbers, you bought a house, the house goes into the trust at $100,000. In 50 years, when that same house that you bought, Daniel bought at $100,000, now 50 years goes by, right? And now your kids are going to inherit whatever's in the trust. They're not going to pay capital gains tax on, let's say it becomes $1 million. They're not going to pay capital gains tax on that $900,000 gain, right? They're going to pay taxes on that $100,000 that the house went into. It's almost like locked in time because of that step up in cost basis. That is one of the biggest perks to having a trust, right? And then also having a business, right? So setting up a business so that it's in an LLC or S corp, however you structure, right? But LLCs, but knowing that the tax code, there's over 70,000 pages of the tax code. I mean, and it's your job, right, to understand it so that you can utilize it to your benefit and make sure that money that you inherit, that you make, doesn't go through probate, right? And it goes to your family, right? You know what I mean? Because you took time. And that's what I always say, right? Is that if you don't take time to educate you for you, somebody else is going to educate you, right? Then that's going to be an expensive bill for you to pay.
Right? How are you practically educating yourself? Like on like is it like you listen to a podcast, reading a book, you got 5 pages a day that you got to read, 10 pages? What's that look like?
Absolutely. So every time that I get in the car, right, make sure I got my Audible on and I'm reading a book because we spend so much time in our car. Now, there's the occasion when I got to throw on some music.
Get it going.
I got to get going. But 9 times out of 10, I got a podcast on, right? Podcast where I'm reading a book, right? Like Acquired, that's a really good podcast, right? So just talking about like how the different companies came to be, right? Like NVIDIA, right? How it went from literally like $50 a share to like $800 a share, $900 a share, Nike, Under Armour, things like that, right?
Another good podcast is called Founders. It's Founders. So it's this guy, I don't know what his name is, but he reads all these biographies of these extremely successful entrepreneurs, like their life biographies, and then he pulls out like the super, I guess like the applicable, like the important, like the main themes and talks about them. Super good. You should check that out. Yeah, check it out. But like there's one on like Steve Jobs, Jay-Z.
Love that.
Man, there's some other ones that I've like tuned into, and it's just like, because I mean, these guys are taking the time to write a book, or someone very close to them is writing a book. Like it's just like that's like.
It's gold.
Guys, that's gold. That is gold. So that is that's so cool. So so you're stepping in the car, you're listening to stuff.
Absolutely. And then YouTube University, bro. Like man, you can find anything on YouTube, man. If you want to, learn about who knows how to be a CEO or
Yeah.
even like, I mean, think about it. Like even with Shaq, where he said the business book for dummies, things like that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, how to start a business for that, like things like that. But it takes intentionality, right? If you seek that knowledge, you will find, right? You know what I mean? So
You will find.
come on, man. You
There
know,
go.
seeking you shall find, right? So it's all right there. You know what I mean? But you've got to take that action, and then you've got to find people that have been where you're trying to go, and just talk to them, man. Let them know. We're not mind readers, right?
Yeah.
Like, let them know. And 9 times out of 10, I guarantee if they're a good person, man, they want to help you.
So for our young entrepreneurs out there, what's one thing you wish you would have started doing earlier in your business career? Like, what skill set would have been you wish you would have acquired earlier? Like, could have been like networking, meeting the right people, or just like, what's one thing you're like, man, I wish I started doing that a little bit earlier because I'd be light years ahead, or what's that? What do you think?
Absolutely. So I would say another great question. I would 100% find a mentor in your space, like ASAP, because if think about it, they're already light years ahead of where you want to be. So they can give you the blueprint and the keys to success that they didn't have when they first started. So you could sidestep some of these potholes that you might have stepped in or are stepping in right now, right? And just elevate your game to the next level and set yourself 5-10 years ahead just by having 1 or 2 conversations. I'll say that'll be the number one, man, is if you admire somebody, go tell them.
Finding mentors.
You know what I'm saying? Find your mentor. And then if I had started reading these books a lot earlier in my career, 100%. So you pair that with mentors and reading books, I mean, you're probably going to be the next Fortune 500 CEO.
Come on. So I guess, how old were you when you started, you're like, man, I want to start, like, not only, I mean, I want to be the best football player, but like, I want to start developing like my intellect, you know, I want to just like my wisdom, all that. Like, how old were you when you kind of were like, oh, this is what all these successful people are doing. Like, I got to start doing what they're doing, you know? Was there a certain like pivotal moment that kind of like the light bulb went off? You're like, oh crap, like football's not going to be around forever. Like, I got to start just like, you know, doing the things and taking on these traits of extremely successful people.
Absolutely. So I would say that was right after my last injury.
Okay.
You know, I had 8 total injuries, man.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's, again, why Skeleware is coming to be, is because I literally am building products for younger me that I could have used to increase my career longevity, right? So I said, if I can no longer play the game, I'm going to spend the rest of my life protecting it, right? So I'm going to go ahead and start to build and do things so that my son, one day when he comes up, right,
Big Chief.
he's not Big Chief, right? He's not going to have to endure the same type of hardships that I endured. Now, I want him to endure some hardships, because I'm going to tell you right now, resiliency is something that has truly made me, right? But that's because I've gone through so much adversity in my life, right? And it's built me, it's forged me, right? It's created me at my core. It's solidified me, like it's galvanized me. You know what I mean? And that's so when I hear somebody that's been through something in their life, right? They've been through some type of adversity, some trials, some tribulations. I like you, because I know we one and the same. We got some key components. You know what I mean? That's what drives you to success.
Yeah, that's so good. That's so good. So I feel like a big thing we've been hitting on, another big thing, is just the importance of like networking and just how it opens doors. It's just, I mean, it can really transform your life. And I know showing up to networking events for me, like at a young age, I mean, which is like, a few years ago, but, like that was a game changer, just like stepping out. I mean, super uncomfortable, you know, just stepping out in like a space where you're like, I have no idea, but that one person, you know, it's like that one conversation we're talking about. It just takes one. Just got to find one connection, one mentor.
That's it.
To, I guess, open that next set of doors. But would you just say, like, finding a mentor, but just building high quality relationships is just like how important is that? Just like, have you experienced, like, what has been your experience with that?
It's been tremendous, actually, especially when I got into the business world. Surrounding yourself with other like-minded business individuals, your conversations change, right? And I'm the youngest one in some of these rooms, like the youngest by like 10, 20, 30 years, right? So your conversations are way different, right? But it's in a great way, because now by default sponsors growth, right? Because like, man, these guys are talking about X, Y, and Z. I'm like, man, I didn't even know that existed, right? Or you know what I'm saying? So it's like it changes the dynamic, and it also, I think, propels your growth in all aspects of life. So I think that's huge, man. Being the youngest in these rooms, I mean, I have grown exponentially because they're not, talking about video games and this, that. They're talking about the company that put out that video game, their stock and what it traded at, when the market closed last
bigger
night.
Picture.
Bigger, you know what I'm saying?
Picture.
Bigger picture. You know what I'm saying? So that's really where the mindset has to shift, and that's where you want to find yourself. And I see you've been doing that, right? Beginning some of these rules.
That's how we met.
That's how we met.
That's how we met.
That's it. It's a networking event,
Real estate networking event.
Real estate networking event, and that's what it's all about, man. I'm glad that you were there, because that was when I was starting to get into it, and I was back in Ohio now, and like I said, we started building. Now we have a portfolio of properties, right? So it's that's generational wealth, man.
Yeah,
that's for my son, it's for my daughter. For Chief, like you said, Chief and Naomi. Man. But Chief, that's we call him Chief, but his real name is Chidera.
Okay.
And Chidera in our Nigerian heritage means what God has for me, no man can take away. Yeah.
Chidera.
Yeah. Chidera.
What God has for me,
no man can take away.
No man can take away.
Set your kids up for success, man. You know what I mean? Like that's and that name, but they're gonna have a blast with that Chief coming out the tunnel.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean? But if he wants to play football, so be it. But if he doesn't,
that's cool too.
So that's cool too. Just know I'm gonna support him. Whatever he wants to do.
Yeah.
But he better be the best at it.
He
cannot quit. Cannot quit. That's it. Gotta stay consistent, man.
Wait, so how old's Chief?
He's 1.5.
Chief's 1.5, and then
Naomi, she's 4. She's my oldest. She's a girl. She's a spitting image of me too.
Really?
I'm like, I tell my mom sorry every day, mom and dad. 'Cause I'm like, man, if that was me, as a kid, sheesh, man. Like, she's just so like steadfast, and like if she wants something, she's gonna go get it.
Yeah.
Like just a grinder. Like guys, like she has like a little rage too. It's like, oh, I'm like, man, if I hone this, you going to the Olympics, girl.
Oh my
you know
gosh.
what I mean? Like, that's what you want, right?
Yeah.
You like to see that in your kids, that they have that dog in them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's that fight. Because that's not taught. It's nurtured.
No. Yeah, and also it's observed.
Observed, exactly.
It's observed.
Exactly.
I mean, I was thinking while you were saying that, Ed Milet.
Yes.
So he has a saying, which I'm so glad it just came to my mind. But his saying is, things aren't taught, they're caught. So it's
real.
like, these parents, they are like, I'm nowhere close to being a parent, but I can see how like what his example was saying. It's just like, you have this parent who's like saying like, oh, do this,
right.
But they're not actually about it.
Right.
What they're saying, what they're practicing versus what they're preaching is totally different.
Correct.
And honestly, I mean, that relates to like anything. Like if you're in your organization, if you're trying to like lead these people, but it's like you're doing stupid stuff on the side. It's just like they're not going to listen to you.
No, they're not.
So what's that been like? I guess because you are like a newer parent. Like, has it just like opened your eyes to just like, I guess like the importance of things like legacy and just like leadership and just like
100%.
Yeah.
100%, because your life is no longer your own. You know what I mean? Like everything you do revolves around them now.
Yeah.
They depend on you, right, for everything. And like you said, I love that Ed Milet, like things are not learned,
things are not
caught. They're
taught.
Things are not taught, they're caught.
Yep.
100%. So things are not taught, they're caught. I love that, because like my daughter, she'll come up to my office, she'll see me and she'll be like, Dad, how's the new product coming? Like she's like,
she knows. Like
she knows. And then when me and my wife, we switch over and we start talking about like our properties and things like that, she'll be like, Dad, did we buy a new house for the business? Like, so she gets it, man. So she's got a whole new framework at 4. She understands product, she understands enterprise, she understands being able to, purchasing houses and the generational impact that they may have. Like, it almost brings tears to your eyes, man, because it's like you're doing something right. You're doing something. She's not talking about little video games. No. She's like, so how's the new product? Or how's the house? How's the house? Did we get a new house?
Yeah.
For the business. She said the exact word. And the other day we're walking, and I remember she didn't even look up at me, man. She's just walking. It gives me chills. She was just like, Dad. We're just walking. She's like, I can't wait to have a business like you and Mom one day.
Wow.
Come on, man. Like, What else can you ask for?
Wow.
What else can you ask for, man? At 4. So think about where she's going to be at 14.
Paving the way.
And then think where she's going to be at 24.
Yeah.
Because she's already thinking about it back at.
How are you going to steward that? I mean, just like, how are you going to steward that?
Man. Come on, man. I can't wait, man. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I just got to keep showing her the way.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's not taught, it's caught, right? So I just got to keep, because obviously I'm not talking to her like all the time, but she's seeing it. And then it spurs the conversation. And then it's my job to dive in and teach her, right? And say, okay, well, look, sit on her lap and let her see as you're going through deals, how you evaluate, your 3PL or how you know, and then we switch over to the real estate side. How do you evaluate a property? What's the cash flow analysis? What's your cash on cash ROI, right? What are your expenses going to be, right? What's the interest rates currently right now, right? Are you doing a DSCR loan versus a conventional, things like that. So just start teaching her that and let her just hear you talking about it and not talking about, I'm on the phone talking with somebody about nothing.
Random stuff.
Random stuff. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be very intentional, man, especially when your kids are around.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So I guess another question I have, just like some more applicable things for our people out there. Do you have a pretty, I guess, consistent like morning? Like, do you have a morning routine, or is it kind of just like it changes?
I got a morning routine, but when you have kids, good luck.
Good luck.
Because it's like everything you plan, they it's almost like they're sitting up in their room going like, all right, this is how we're going to do, and plan against you.
Yeah.
Right? Because you think you're going to get up at 4 a.m., but then they're like, nah, we're in your room at 2 a.m. and I got my feet in your face. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how kids work, But
so are you still getting 8 hours of sleep like you're saying?
I'm not getting 8 hours of sleep anymore. I'll tell you that right now. Not, as a father, there's no way. There's no way, man. Of 2, no, you can't. Nah, you good luck, bro. Like, and then when you're running your businesses, I mean, it's just something got to give, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Now I get close. I get 6, 7,
that's good.
and then we can trade off, So, but yeah, man, I try to every morning try to get my workout in, especially, man. But also drink my first glass of water right when I wake up, so it sets you on that trajectory, right? Because you got to get your gallon in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So then on top of that, making sure that we're getting in, we're praying, right?
Yes,
making sure that we take and then take time to dive into the Word, right? Together. And
so you and your wife,
doing
that together,
praying
together in the morning.
When she's not up at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. with the kids, like, cause sometimes I gotta let her sleep, man. Cause it's like, it's tough, man.
Yeah,
cause you gotta also work to get them dressed, get their food ready for school, and then get them off to school, right? And then in the summertime, daycare, right? Because they gotta be somewhere else.
Yeah.
How else am I doing this right now?
Exactly.
You can't have your kids running around here. They'll never let you.
Gotta be flexible.
Gotta be flexible, man. You gotta be flexible. So, yeah, it's all about being comfortable, being uncomfortable, because I love structure. I love having structure, you know what I mean? Waking up and doing boom, 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 same thing, eating, doing all that. But sometimes you just can't, man. And, comfortable being uncomfortable. That takes me back to the story about at the Broncos, man. This is a crazy story.
Let's hear it.
You ready? You ready for
it? I'm ready.
All right, so we had just went under, and I'll do it quick. We had just gotten a new coaching staff, right? So now we got Gary Kubiak, and we got Wade Phillips, right? John Elway's the GM. Got DeMarcus Ware, Peyton Manning's the quarterback, Emmanuel Sanders, Demarius Thomas, everybody, man. It was wild, right? So I remember typically my size, right? I was 6'4", 255, 260 pounds. I'm more of a 4-3 defensive end, right? So 4 of us, 3 linebackers. Yeah. Wade Phillips from Bum Phillips, was his father. They ran 3 down front. So you have 3 defensive linemen, right? And then you can really mix it up. You can go 4. You can go. I mean, you name it. So 3-4, right, was typical. So he came to me. He's like, Kenny, you're a heck of a player, but my ends are typically 290, 350 plus. So I'm going to need you to gain some weight if you want to make the squad. Yeah. Now, mind you, this year is 2015. Remember what happened in 2015? We won the Super Bowl, right? Okay, we won the Super Bowl. Yeah. So had I told him, nah, coach, I'm good, I'm just going to go somewhere else, then I would have missed out on winning the Super Bowl and the opportunity. So always been ready when your number's called. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I just told him yes. I said, yeah. He's like, I'm going to need you to gain some weight. So what I did, I hired a personal chef who happened to also be a personal trainer. So the guy was fantastic, man. He was cooking my meals, right? He was delivering them, right? But before that, he started doing that, and I wasn't gaining no weight. He's like, all right, here we go. I want you to go to Wendy's, and I want you to call me. I was like, okay. And so I go to Wendy's, call him. He's like, I want you to put this order in, don't deviate. I'm like, okay. Yeah, don't deviate. I'm like, oh, man, what am I getting myself into? Yeah. So he's like, order 4 double baconators with cheese. For mind you, I love a good baconator, man. If I'm going to have a cheat meal, it's going to be a double baconator with cheese. I'm telling you, from Wendy's. But and they should sponsor me with that one. But no, but
shout out Wendy's.
Shout out Wendy's. So he had 4 double baconators with cheese, right? Then he said, get a loaded fry with and it's like kind of like animal style that you would get from
the sour cream, bacon
man,
bits,
everything, right? I'm so like, good. Oh my gosh, bro, like I'm about to explode.
Yeah.
So and then he said, get a large Coke, like the biggest cup they got, no ice. I'm like, what? No ice? He's like, and then when you take it home, call me. He hung up the phone. I'm like, don't hang up on me, man. Like, you can't do this. He's like, you just left me stranded. Like, we're out in Vegas or something with the Hangover Part 3 or something. He's like, so I get all that, man, pay for it. I head home, put it on my desk. I moved my playbook, moved all that around, put it on my desk, and I'm like, I didn't call him. You know who I called my mom, my dad. I was like, look, I sent him a picture too. I said, if I die tonight, then y'all know what happened. Because I got to eat all this food. And I'm dude. I started eating, man. So I eat it all, man. I ate the 4 baconators with cheese. The animals.
Wait, it was 4 of them.
4 double baconators with cheese.
That's like
a
5,000 calories.
Yeah, exactly. So I ate them all, right? My stomach is from here to like the facility, man. Like I'm hurting, bro. I'm guzzling water. I'm laying in my bed, bro. So then I get up the next day and he calls me. I mean, I called him. He just said, eat it all, right? So I get up the next day and then I call him when I'm like up. I'm like alive, right? And I'm like, dude, I just ate all that food. He was like, good. He's like, I want you to go step on the scale. I gained like 5 pounds, bro. 5. It was crazy, right? So that first week, it's probably like 1 or 2 pounds. But that first week, I gained a full like 8 pounds. So basically, he jump started my metabolism because I was not, because I had basketball body, man. I was burning, and I work out all the time.
Yeah.
So fast forward, man. Now he would give me like lean meats, protein. That was the only time I ate like that. And we proteins. I was eating 6,000 calories a day, and with one included with 1,000-calorie protein shake. So literally, that's a pound. That's a pound of food per day, man. But I ended up going from 255 pounds to 290 pounds in 3 months.
How'd you feel? Like your body?
I was 6% body fat. I was
at
eating
290.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got a picture to prove it.
Oh
I was
my
6% body. I had a 6-pack at 290.
290.
That was training camp.
When did you start the meal program, and then when did you how long did it take you to get up to 290?
It took me 3.5 months. Yeah, 3.5 months.
Wow, that's like superhuman,
bro. And I got in. I got it. So I made it, and I ended up making the team that season as a 53-man on a 53-man roster as an undrafted free agent. Yeah. Made the team, and we won a Super Bowl that year.
So was Layla out there in Denver?
No, she was still in Ohio.
She was in Ohio.
Yeah. And then actually she moved to Maryland. She's from Maryland. So she was living in Maryland.
You were just literally, it was football, eating, playbook, let's rock. That's it. That's it.
And then I would fly.
Simple.
That was simple. No distractions.
Man, I feel like I've learned that. I'm learning that right now in my life is that it's not about adding things; it's about taking things out.
Things away. That's it.
Yeah. So it's I'm sure
you learn as you get older.
Exactly. I'm sure with delegation in your company, it's just and I'm starting to see that
hard, bro.
That's so hard. A little bit too, because it's just I don't want to take my hands off this, right. But also it's I'm sure you got so many people that are asking. Well, we talked about this. People asking for podcasts.
Yeah.
Coffee. Yo, Kenny, let's go do coffee. And it's just man, I don't.
You got to be very intentional. Be very intentional with who you give your time, because time is something you can never get back. Yeah. It's your most valuable currency. Yeah. Right. And I'm gonna spend it with those that I love. I'm gonna spend it with those that are well deserving of it. Right.
For sure.
Like my guy. You know what I'm saying?
Come on. Here we go, man. I appreciate you.
No doubt.
Well, I got one more question. I think this is probably the final question I got for you, man. It's just I want you to think about just we've covered a lot today, and the age demographic of this is those 18 to 30-year-olds, and I want you to think back to that younger self, and what would you tell that younger dude?
That's a good question, because that's a question I always use on people too. Yeah. So, if I could go back and tell my younger self, right?
Yeah, younger self.
Yeah, younger
people,
self.
Yeah,
younger self. I would definitely say to start thinking about business and family sooner.
Yeah.
Right? So that you can start to prepare yourself mentally, emotionally, and physically, right? to be that father, that husband, that man you want to be.
Yeah.
You know, because I think today in today's culture is so easy to just chase your dream, right? But then after you get, like, let's say playing the NFL, right?
Yeah.
And then one day it's just poof, it's just over. What you don't ever want to find yourself in is an abyss because you never built that bridge while you were still on the other side. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So being on this side and working on building that bridge to your next destination, so that once it does happen, you're already on that path, and there's no, because that abyss is dark.
Yeah.
It's dark, man, and depression can set in, right? That's when people sometimes start to self-medicate, right? And they start to use things that are not, you know, conducive to getting them back on the right path, and it can get you even farther down in that abyss. But if you start thinking about that now, right, and understanding what your contingency or what your next, like, I like the book Your Next 5 Moves by Patrick
There we
David,
go.
right?
Yep.
Right.
Great.
You know, start thinking about your next 5 moves, then that's when you can find yourself in that abyss, and that's going to be a hard place to pull yourself out of. Some people don't make it out, unfortunately.
Oh, man, that's good. Yeah, well, I think that's a good stopping point.
I love it, bro.
Kenny, man, I appreciate you big time. This has been
dope, bro. I knew this was gonna be great, man.
This has been a pleasure, man. I think this is gonna help a lot of people.
Absolutely. And I hope this helps to kick off the rest of yours, man. Because
I appreciate
do everything you got to do, man. Use, you know,
absolutely
taglines, whatever you got to do, man. You my God, man. On Tens and Braids, we stick together, bro.
Yeah, let's do it, man. We got a lot of stuff to talk about off camera too.
Oh yeah, no doubt. When that light's not red, you know?
Yeah, we do.
You know what I mean?
We do.
That's it. But now for real, man, say you interview Super Bowl champion, man.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like, what? That's gonna make it sticky, man. Like, all right. He's like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's what you need. But then I hope that leads to more. You know what I'm saying? And get Kendrick Lamar on here. Get come on,
people
man.
who are just. I want this podcast to be a place that it's just people who are tapping into that person that God created them to be, man. Because there's not enough people out there that are pursuing that, and there's people that are just running away from it. So, man, it was an honor to have you on as my first guest.
Absolutely.
Man, I appreciate you big time. So thank you,
my guy.